It all started so fast. One minute we were training for hypothetical scenarios. The next, we were fighting for our lives against hordes of the undead. Our military camp, once a symbol of strength, is now a desperate last stand. We've lost so many good men, but we will not surrender. My name is Alex, and this is my dead story. Dean sat across from me, his face etched with worry. Angus, beside him, nervously chewed his lip. We were running out of time. The fence wouldn't hold those things back forever. We needed more supplies, and we needed them now. The city, it was our only option. Max, my most trusted lieutenant, volunteered to accompany me and go with the helicopter. He was a skilled pilot and a damn good shot. We had heard rumors of an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of town, a place that supposedly held a treasure trove of tools and building materials. It was a risky move, venturing out into the unknown, but we had to take the chance. As the sun began to set, we finally reached the warehouse. But something wasn't right. We could hear gunshots echoing from within. Suddenly, we stumbled upon a scene of chaos. An old man, armed with a rifle, was desperately fighting off a horde of zombies. He was outnumbered, outgunned. I tried to reach him, to offer him our help, but he seemed terrified. This old man, eyes wild with fear. In the midst of the chaos, I lost sight of Max. I called out his name, but my voice was drowned out by the growls of the undead. I knew Max was a survivor. He could take care of himself. I had to trust him. With a heavy heart, I pressed on, determined to find the supplies we desperately needed. It was a miracle. We had found each other in this hellhole right in the front of the warehouse. We fought back to back, our weapons a symphony of destruction to eliminate remaining zombies out here. A wave of gratitude washed over me. But our mission wasn't over yet. We had come for supplies, and we wouldn't leave empty-handed. The warehouse doors loomed before us, a silent promise of salvation. With renewed determination, we prepared to face whatever awaited us inside. The last zombie fell, and we are going inside. The warehouse was eerily silent, except for the rhythmic thud of a hammer striking wood. We followed the sound, and there he was, the old man from before. Sean, I think he said his name was. He was boarding up the windows, desperately trying to fortify his position. We called out to him, relieved to find him alive. He seemed surprised to see us, his eyes wide with a mixture of fear and suspicion. This place was a death trap, but there was a glint of determination in his eyes that we couldn't ignore. He was a survivor, just like us. We tried to convince him to come with us. He insisted on staying. We stepped into the heart of the warehouse, and our jaws dropped. It was a gold mine. Shelves stacked high with tools, construction materials, everything we needed to fortify our camp. Saws, hammers, nails, rolls of barbed wire. It was a miracle. We couldn't believe our eyes. With these supplies, we could transform our camp into a fortress. We could protect our people, give them a fighting chance. Hope surged through me, a feeling I hadn't experienced in days. It was time to head back, to share the good news with our people. We had a long journey ahead of us, but we were ready. We had hope. I couldn't leave him here. I saw something in Sean, a spark of resilience that reminded me of my own men. I knew he would be a valuable asset to our camp, so I stepped forward, placing a hand on his shoulder. "Sean," I conveyed silently, "we need you. Your skills, your experience. You can help us. You don't have to face this alone anymore." He then shared his story, a tale of courage and loss. He was a veteran, he conveyed, a survivor of countless battles. He had lost his group days ago, witnessed their gruesome demise at the hands of those monsters. I placed a comforting hand on his shoulder. He wasn't alone anymore. We were in this together. With a newfound sense of purpose, we made our way back to the helicopter. Sean, Max, and I walked side by side, the warehouse receding into the distance. As we navigated the remaining undead, a sense of camaraderie settled over us. The ground was littered with bodies, both military and civilian, a grim testament to the ferocity of the recent battle. We stood in silence, taking in the grim reality. The fight was far from over. We had won a small victory today, but countless others had fallen. With heavy hearts, but renewed determination, we climbed aboard the helicopter, ready to face whatever awaited us back at camp. As we soared through the sky, leaving the horrors of the warehouse behind, a wave of relief washed over me. We were going home. The familiar sight of our camp, a beacon of hope in the vast wasteland, filled me with a sense of gratitude. We could breathe a sigh of relief, knowing that we had lived to see another day. A few days later, back at camp, I filled Sean in on our current situation. We had managed to secure a decent perimeter, but our supplies were dwindling. Food was our most pressing concern. Winter was fast approaching, and we needed to stock up before the first snow fell. "There's a place," he said, his voice low and steady. "The city mall. It's a risk, but it's our best bet for finding food and other essential supplies." A wave of recognition washed over me. The city mall. It was the same place we had heard rumors about back at the military camp. Intel suggested there was a large storage warehouse nearby, potentially filled with the supplies we desperately needed. The day had come. We were finally on our way to the city mall, a beacon of hope in this desolate world. Our team was small, but we were determined. Max, ever the reliable companion, had meticulously prepared our gear, ensuring we had enough ammunition and provisions to last. The mall loomed before us, its once vibrant facade now scarred and broken. We exchanged glances, a silent understanding passing between us. This was it, our chance to secure a future for our people. Before venturing deeper into the mall, we paused for a quick briefing. The atmosphere was thick with anticipation, a mixture of excitement and fear hanging in the air. I outlined our strategy, a slow and methodical advance, securing each area before moving on. We would hold the line at the entrance, clearing out any immediate threats before pushing further into the mall. "We don't know what we're walking into." The team nodded, their faces grim but determined. Sean, his eyes hardened by years of combat experience. With a shared breath and a surge of adrenaline, we stepped through the shattered entrance, ready to face whatever awaited us within the depths of the city mall. The initial wave hit us like a storm. Zombies surged from the shadows, drawn by the sound of our intrusion. But we stood our ground, our weapons spitting fire and fury. Max, with his steady aim, picked off targets from afar. Dean, ever vigilant, kept a watchful eye on our flanks. Angus, despite a minor scratch, fought with unwavering courage. And Sean, a seasoned warrior, moved with a grace that belied his age, taking down zombies with deadly efficiency. I felt a surge of pride watching them fight. These were my people, my team, my family. We were a force to be reckoned with, a beacon of resistance in a world gone mad. Even if we didn't make it out of this alive, I knew I wouldn't regret a thing. We were fighting for something bigger than ourselves, for a chance at a future. And in that moment, amidst the chaos and carnage, I felt a sense of belonging I had never experienced before. We were survivors. We were warriors. We were a team. Wave after wave crashed against our defenses, a relentless tide of undead fury. But we held firm, our weapons a symphony of defiance against the encroaching darkness. Each shot, each swing, each desperate maneuver was a testament to our will to survive, our refusal to surrender to the horrors that surrounded us. Every zombie that fell was a small victory, a defiant stand against the forces that sought to consume us. We were fighting for more than just survival. We were fighting for a future, a chance to rebuild, to reclaim our world from the clutches of the undead. We pressed onward, our senses heightened, our weapons at the ready. The mall was a labyrinth of shattered glass, overturned displays, and abandoned shops, a haunting reminder of the life that once thrived within these walls. We moved with a practiced efficiency, our footsteps muffled by the debris underfoot. We encountered pockets of resistance, small groups of zombies lurking in the darkened corners and behind overturned shelves. But we were ready for them. Our silenced weapons whispered death, taking down the undead before they could raise the alarm. We were making progress, slowly but surely, pushing deeper into the heart of the mall, towards our objective. The tension was palpable, the air thick with anticipation. We knew that the deeper we ventured, the greater the danger. But we were undeterred. We had come too far to turn back. Now. A cold sweat began to prickle my skin. The deeper we ventured into the mall, the heavier the atmosphere became. The initial confidence that had fueled our advance started to waver, replaced by a gnawing sense of dread. The silence was broken only by the echoing drip of water and the distant groans of the undead, a chilling reminder that we were not alone. The air grew thick with the stench of decay, and the shadows seemed to dance with unseen threats. Our pace slowed, our steps more hesitant. Even Sean, the veteran, seemed to be affected by the oppressive atmosphere, his eyes darting nervously from shadow to shadow. We were pushing ourselves to the limit, both physically and mentally. The constant tension, the ever-present threat of attack, was taking its toll. The pressure was mounting. Sweat stung my eyes, my muscles screamed for respite, and my breath came in ragged gasps. I saw the strain on my team's faces, the flicker of doubt in their eyes. Max's usually steady aim wavered, his shots going wide. It all happened so fast. 1 minute we were holding our own, the next we were drowning in a sea of undead. They swarmed us from all sides, their grasping hands tearing at our clothes, their rotting teeth snapping at our flesh. I watched in horror as my friends, my family, were torn apart, their lives extinguished in a frenzy of violence. Despair washed over me, a cold and suffocating wave. I had failed them. I had failed them all. I was alone, utterly and completely alone. The silence that descended after the carnage was deafening, broken only by my own ragged breaths and the moans of the undead feasting on the remains of my friends. My heart shattered into 1,000 pieces, each beat a painful reminder of my loss. Max, Dean, Angus, Sean, all gone. Their faces contorted in their final moments of terror. I had to keep moving, keep fighting, for their sake, for the hope they had died for. I saw Sean becoming a zombie. I have no other choice but to shoot him. I really sad and full of regret seeing him dead. Their faces, their voices, their spirits lived on within me, fueling my every step, my every breath. I would carry them with me to the end and beyond. I run, trying to find a place to hide, to catch my breath. My legs ached, my lungs burned, and my head spun with a dizzying mix of grief and adrenaline. This is it then, the end of the line. The zombies are closing in, their relentless moans echoing through the empty aisles. My ammunition is running low, my strength fading, my hope flickering like a dying ember. But I will not go down without a fight. I will make them pay for every life they took, for every dream they shattered. I managed to drag Sean Bodie with me, but then my memories flash before my eyes. My childhood, filled with laughter and innocence. My time in the military, the camaraderie and the thrill of battle. The days spent with my team, the bond of friendship forged in the fires of adversity. The barricaded door, the scattered debris, the bloodstains on the floor. It's a grim reminder of the horrors I've endured, the friends I've lost. I may be alone, but I am not broken. I will find a way to rebuild, to create a future worthy of their sacrifice. I will not let the darkness win. I will survive. My name is Alex, and this is a story about how I die.